So I now want to compare Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes kind of for the last time on this episode right here. So Tom Brady versus Patrick Mahomes, what are the similarities and differences between these guys? What makes Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady such great, amazing quarterbacks? What makes them off the charts, fantastic franchise leaders? They're actually very similar in a lot of facets, and I'll tell you why. Because here's the thing. Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady are not only pretty talented throwers of the football, but their leadership is off the charts. They have great people skills. They're joyful. They're upbeat. They're encouraging. And the one thing we can say about Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady is they galvanize the troops around them. And they're able to rally their team from behind. And not only are Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady more times than not going to close you out when they have a lead in the fourth quarter. They rarely blow fourth quarter leads. But Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady become even better quarterbacks at times when they're trailing. We've seen quarterbacks, that are even all-time greats that struggle to come from behind. But Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, at least in Patrick Mahomes, short stint in his career so far, they've sort of made a living off of being the comeback kids, We could talk about the fact that Patrick Mahomes was down 27-0. Well, I think it was 24-0. 24-0. Some odd, crazy number to the Houston Texans in his playoff run last year where he was down double digits. He fell down 20-plus points, and he was able to storm back and beat Deshaun Watson, the Houston Texans. He fell down double digits to the Tennessee Titans. It did not seem to matter. He came roaring back. In the Super Bowl, he was down double digits, and his defense gave him a shot in the fourth quarter, and Patrick Mahomes did not miss. He was able to elevate under pressure and come back and beat the great San Francisco 49ers defense, who were actually looking like they might be the next dynasty potentially. Now Kansas City might ultimately end up being the next dynasty. We shall see. And the thing about Tom Brady is we've seen the Super Bowls that he's been a part of. We saw what he did to the Atlanta Falcons when he was down, a bunch of points in the Super Bowl to Matt Ryan and the Falcons. The Falcons blew a huge lead in that game, and Tom Brady was able to come back because Tom Brady is a cerebral assassin. He's not a guy that's ever going to lay down. He's the ultimate competitor. And when it comes to facing Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady, you can never score enough points against those guys. No lead is safe when you're playing Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs and Tom Brady, whether he's in New England or in Tampa Bay. It don't matter. There's never enough points scored versus Tom Brady. You must continue to apply the pressure until that clock hits zero, okay? Because Tom Brady, he's going to make a run at a comeback, no doubt about it. And both these quarterbacks are excellent road quarterbacks. I think quarterbacks at times are defined by how well they do in uncomfortable situations, when they face adversity, on the road and things like that. Patrick Mahomes has proven to be so good up to this point in his career that he hasn't ever had to play a road playoff game yet, but we saw him get tested in the Super Bowl, and granted, his defense definitely helped bail him out a little bit. But last year, we saw Patrick Mahomes face adversity, and he passed the test at the end of the day. It may have not been an A-plus grade that he passed the test with, but he passed that test pretty well. He's moving on to the next semester. He won that Super Bowl trophy. He deserved that MVP, in my opinion. And the thing about Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes is, in the highest leverage moments, they're at their absolute best. Go look at Patrick Mahomes' playoff numbers, people. They're off the charts. Go look at Tom Brady's moments in Super Bowls. In 6 Super Bowl victories, Tom Brady has a game-winning drive in all 6 of them. And I have a good feeling Tom Brady might very well have a 7th game-winning drive up his sleeve versus Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, because I did actually pick the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win this game, like I said. And I kind of mentioned this earlier. The difference between Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes is an exception to the rules. Tom Brady is not. Tom Brady is all about the rules, okay? He has to be precise. He has to be a guy that studies a lot of film and pays super attention to detail, okay? When Tom Brady's outside the pocket and out of structure at times, things can get ugly. But the thing that you admire the most about Tom Brady is his work ethic, is his attention to detail, and how precise he constantly is, how he makes the game-winning play time after time after time, how he steals yards underneath every single time. If you give Tom Brady an easy completion, that guy is not going to be greedy. He's going to take the check down. He's going to methodically drive down the field, and he'll take his calculated shots down the field and throw for them touchdowns as well when need be, okay? Tom Brady is the ultimate calculated assassin, especially in the clutch. And Patrick Mahomes, you can literally play the perfect defense versus that guy and still get shredded to pieces, because more times than not, 8 or 9 times out of 10, a perfect throw beats really good coverage. And that's just what I see time and time again from Patrick Mahomes. Sometimes it doesn't matter what defense you're in. You can have Patrick Mahomes fooled at that line of scrimmage, but he'll just run around, backpedal, maybe throw a sidearm pass. Mahomes just seems like the guy that will, no matter what you do, he'll find the answer to the test, and he'll do it pretty quickly. The way Patrick Mahomes goes through his progressions and just gets to his answer so quickly is really what's impressive to me, just because, you have that guy dead in the water. He'll just find a way to make plays with that rocket arm that he has. He's an intelligent kid, and he has a great feel for the game. I think that a lot of people missed that when he was at Texas Tech, his overall feel for the game. And last but not least, Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes were both doubted in college. The things that people were saying about Patrick Mahomes when he was coming out of Texas Tech was he had horrible footwork, his mechanics were awful, he made poor decisions, he was probably never going to consistently be an accurate distributor of the football. That was some of the things that they were saying about Patrick Mahomes at Texas Tech. They were saying he was a Big 12 quarterback that played in a pillow fighting conference, the Big 12, and Tom Brady. People necessarily didn't, knock Tom Brady. They just didn't know who the guy was, and they just overlooked, I think, the leadership qualities, the intelligence, the ability to read defenses, the ability to be accurate, the ability to make good decisions, the ability to maneuver the pocket. I think they overlooked those things just because Tom Brady simply had a bad scouting combine. He had a bad combine, and he doesn't always look the part from a physique perspective. But, you don't have to have a six-pack to play quarterback in the NFL. You got to be an accurate passer. You have to be a gamer, and it's all about the analytics. You can't measure someone's heart with a stopwatch. You can't measure someone's will to win by evaluating them on a bench press. You just can't do these things. You have to look at the analytics and not the analytics. Football, at the end of the day, is a meat and potato sport. And ultimately, whichever guy is willing to go through a brick wall to be successful, and whichever guy is going to put in the time and the work and really just show up when it matters most, that's the guy I want on my team. I'm not into the combine, who can run the fastest, who can throw the furthest. Those things matter because Patrick Mahomes, he's in this game because he's super duper talented. There's a room for the Cam Newtons, the Michael Vicks, even the Aaron Rodgers of the world and things like that. But at the same time, I think that Tom Brady is proving that looking at arm strength, measuring your size, how fast you are, at the end of the day, if you don't have the intangibles, it really doesn't matter. And I'm not saying that, other quarterbacks that have been stronger and faster than Tom Brady don't have great intangibles, because Dan Marino, guys like that, they had the intangibles. They just never got the breaks to win a Super Bowl. Winning Super Bowls is all about, how do I say this? Winning a Super Bowl is a team accomplishment, okay? We saw a couple of years ago Nick Foles win a Super Bowl being a backup quarterback, okay? We saw Case Keenum nearly get to a Super Bowl, and he wasn't even the starting quarterback to begin the year, okay? Minnesota had a loaded roster that it didn't matter what quarterback they had. They were going to win games regardless. So that's kind of how I feel about these two quarterbacks. Both are doubted in college. Both are fun, exciting to play for. They have a certain, upbeat mentality to their game, and I can't wait to see Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady face off in the Super Bowl. It should be great, but that is how Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, to me, sort of compare and contrast as far as what type of quarterback they are. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juiciest Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juiciest Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.